Okay, good day everyone. I am Pacifico Suica III, the last reporter for the Module 16 Theoretical Framework and Conceptual Framework. So in this module, we'll be able to learn to know what are the theoretical and conceptual frameworks. To begin with, we have theoretical framework. So first, let's divide it into the two main ideas, theory and a framework. So theory, it is a concept formulated to explain, predict, and understand the phenomena. While a framework, it is a skeleton or a basic structure or frame of reference designed to support something. So in research, theories that serve as the building blocks or skeleton for the foundation and basis of the study. Thus, it also strengthens the study. So it is a must, no? If we will have our research to have its theoretical framework. So meaning we have this basis, no, or skeleton or the foundation of our study. So next, it is a blueprint or guide for a research. No? It is borrowed by the researcher to build his or her own house. It is according to Grant and Osanlu in 2014. It serves as a foundation also upon which a research is constructed. So the researcher cites and discusses related theories that serve as the foundation of the variables and the relationship, and to make the study more scientific and understandable to readers. So these are examples of theoretical framework, no, in sciences. So we have transformational theory, cultural theory, cognitive theory, gender theory, behavioral theory, developmental theory, human environment relations theory, culture ecology theory, and culture determinism theory. So this is important also to note, no, if we will use these specific theories, we need also to cite who are the authors of these and how is this being related to our study or how is this related to our present study. And also, these are the examples of theoretical framework that can be anchored in business research. So these are the management theories, no? We can have those theories being presented in the screen now. So we have the systems theory, the principles of administrative management, no? We have the human relations theory, the quantitative management, and organizations as learning systems. So this can be our basis, no? Or this can be our theoretical framework in one of our future studies soon. So you can be, so this can be easily searched, no, in the Google. And basically when you type frameworks there or theoretical frameworks, then the Google also will show us the relevant, just read all those theories that is related to our present study. So how to construct a theoretical framework? Basically, the theory must reflect the understanding of the researcher regarding the study and must direct the study. So this is in accordance with Simon and Gose in 2011. Also, the selection of a theoretical framework requires a thorough understanding of the problem, purpose, significance, and research questions of a study. Again, thorough understanding of the problem, so and the purpose and the significance of our research study. So consider the guiding principles of the study and situate a problem in relation to a theoretical context. Also, the research questions of the study must entail noticeable aspects of the theoretical framework and must agree with the assertions promulgated by the theorists of the selected theory. Again, as I've said earlier, that if we use a certain theoretical framework, it must be related to the present study, and we will cite who are those theorists making them, right? So these are the prompts, no, or the beginning of the paragraph in constructing our theoretical framework. So basically, the study is anchored on. Another will be this study is supported by the theory of. This study is founded on the theory of, and could be the theoretical underpinning of the study is. So you will going to cite now the theoretical framework that you have searched on the internet or on your references, no, be it on the library or in anywhere you can have your theoretical framework. So according to Grant and Usan in 2014, they have made this checklist to identify the suitable theoretical framework for a study. So one question is that what discipline will the theory be applied to? Second, does the theory agree with the methodology plan for the study? Is the theory to be selected well developed with many theoretical constructs? Number four, have specific concepts or theoretical principles been selected to meet the objectives of the study? Next, does the problem of the study, the purpose, and importance of the study correlates with the theoretical framework? So, as I have always said, it must be related, no, to our present study. So, the purpose, the problem, and the importance of it. Next one is can the theory be used in hand with the research questions for the study? Third, does the theoretical framework inform the literature review? So, as we go on along with the so basically theoretical and conceptual framework, theoretical framework can be found in the chapter 1 of our thesis, no, and also it can be showed in the chapter 2 in the review of related literature, because sometimes those literatures are anchored also with those theoretical frameworks that we are been using. Second to last, we have does the data analysis plan agrees with the selected theoretical framework? Then if it's yes, then use that one. Lastly, does the theoretical framework undergirds the conclusions and recommendations based on the data analysis? So now let's move on. What is the conceptual framework? So basically, conceptual framework, it is a structure which the researcher believes could best explain the natural progression of the phenomenon to be studied. So conceptual framework based on the concepts, meaning it could be presented on a diagrammatic or in a statement form. So it offers a logical structure of connected concepts that help provide a picture or visual display of how ideas in a study relate to one another. So as I've said, so we can use diagrams here. So this can be shown, or the schema of the study, no? This is our conceptual framework. It assists also the researcher to specify and define the concepts within the problem of the study that's in accordance to Luce, Menek, and Townsend 2012. So it represents an integrated way of looking at a problem under study. So last time we have known already about the hypothesis, a statement of the problem, and now we can see now the relationships being stated there in our statement of the problem and also in the hypothesis. So it is seen as an outline of courses of action or preferred approach to a thought to be carried out in a research study. So Miles and Huberman opine that conceptual frameworks can be graphical or in a narrative form, showing the key variables or constructs to be studied and the presumed relationship between them. So later on, you will see a sample of a conceptual framework. Then you will see those. You can see the arrow or the arrows, no, that will show the relationship of both the variables. So why is conceptual framework important? Because it aids the researcher to identify and construct his or her worldview and approach to the topic of the study. Also, it brings together related concepts to explain or predict a given event or give a detailed understanding of the research problem and its asserted solution. Third, it accentuates the reasons why a research topic is worth studying. So the assumptions of a researcher, the scholars, he or she agrees with or disagrees with, and how he or she conceptually grounds his or her approach. So also in looking at the chapter 1, it's all components there are very important, but I think for me, these are the hypotheses, the conceptual and theoretical frameworks, and the statement of the problems are the having greater weight in the chapter 1. That is in my own opinion. So mostly diagrams are created to clearly define the constructs or variables of the research topic and the relationships, and are shown by the use of arrows. So um, earlier I said, no, we use arrows to determine the relationship of both the variables, meaning the independent and the dependent variables. So researchers are at liberty to adopt existing frameworks, but have to modify it to suit the nature of the context of the research, as well as the nature of the research question. So there are many frameworks, no, we can use, or uh, we can get an idea too, but let us be clear enough, no, if what are those, or what are the purpose of our study, what, or is it in line with our research study. So Fisher adds that a good conceptual framework must also be expressed in writing for it to be understood clearly. So this is an example or constructing a conceptual framework. So so we already have the statement of the problem, right? So after this one, the SO, the statement of the problem, so we can see those questions, no, and being set on our hypothesis, if it's of, or there, if there is a significant relationship or significant correlation by with those variables. For example, in independent variable, we have the strategic management practices, we have the strategic analysis, decision making, formulation, implementation, and control. So this is our independent variables. So basically, there is already a theory of these strategic management practices. So we get to see, you know, the theory behind it if it will incline to our study. Next one is the arrow. So as you can see, this arrow tells us the relationship between the independent and the dependent variable. So by this independent variable, we can now so the dependent variable is dependent among these independent variables. So the dependent variable are the social responsibility, be it the economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. And nowadays also, researchers use the IPO method, the inputs, process, and the outputs in their conceptual framework. So that could be a good one also. So I guess these are all about my report about the Module 16 theoretical and conceptual framework. So before I end, so these are the differences between the theoretical framework and the conceptual framework. We have theoretical framework is curled from an existing theory or theories in the literature that has already been tested and validated by others and is considered as an acceptable theory in the scholarly literature. While conceptual framework is the researcher's understanding of how the research problem will be explored, the specific direction of the research will have to take, and the relationship within the different or between the different variables in the study. So another example I get from the internet, no, is the while having our dependent variables and independent variables. So we have in the independent variables the hours of study, while the dependent variable could be the exam score. So by that, we can also have a moderator, you know, in between, or the mediate variable, moderate or intervening variables that should be put in between by those independent and dependent variables. So the intervening variable for that could be the IQ of the student. So we can never know, no, how much hours he studied, and those are his scores in the exam, because we can know we don't know that the intervening variable or the moderator is the student's IQ or independent quotient. So also, while a whole theory may serve one's theoretical framework, a conceptual framework is carefully put together in the form of a conceptual model and immediately applied to a particular study. So theoretical framework is derived from a theory, while conceptual framework is derived from the concept. So that is get in their word itself, no, from theoretical comes from the theory concepts on the conceptual framework. So I guess that could be all. Um, and you can have your questions in our online platform during our class. So thank you for listening and God bless us all.